Are you interested or considering a career in general practice? Perhaps you're at a stage where you're completing your foundation training or your next career move in medicine, or perhaps you are an international medical graduate just like myself and want to know more about general practice. You've come to the right place. Make sure you stick around till the end. My name is Dr. Zulqarnain Ahmed. I'm a GP in Bolton. I make videos about health, productivity and lifestyle medicine. And today in this video, I'll be talking about benefits of a career in general practice. If you're not from UK, then it's worth explaining that a general practitioner in the UK is a doctor who works in community, and in other parts of the world it's also known as family medicine doctor or family medicine consultant. However, the definition of a GP which I really like is I'd like to describe myself as an expert generalist. I've been a GP for 5 years now, over 5 years in fact, and whenever I speak to junior doctors or anyone else who's interested in a career in general practice, usually the first thing they ask is, what is it like to be working in general practice? Today I'll be sharing some of those answers with you, so make sure you stick around till the end. And consider subscribe if you've found this useful, and perhaps share it with your colleagues and other people who you think might be interested in this. So one of the main attractions of the general practice is the variety which it presents us with. General practice is quite broad, and the thing which attracted me most was this variety, which I still enjoy till today, because you're never sure that what might come through the door. And as a GP, we see people from different ages, different backgrounds, and it's very fulfilling to help and support people at various stages of their lives. And in fact, sometimes people present us with problems which may not be medical, but because they really trust us as their doctor, so they find it easy to share things with us which they find uncomfortable to share with their own friends, loved ones, or even at times their family members and spouses. Of course, this can be challenging at times because you might not know the answer straight away. However, this is part of being a doctor and a generalist, that we try to sort of look for an answer, and if we're not sure, then we have the time and we can always get back to. So it's more kind of a problem solving approach as well, which again is a quite big attraction for general practice. This does pose a challenge, especially when you are in your training, and especially if you're somebody like myself who's come from abroad and you don't know the sort of how the system works and how the NHS and how the social care system works. So this can be a bit challenging at the start. However, with right training and right help, you can learn this quite quickly. The second reason why I like the general practice is the continuity of care. This may start from a short illness or a diagnosis of a chronic disease, and then you can follow a patient journey all the way through till the end. And we as GPs develop a long-term relationship with our patients because we see them over and over again, and at times you'll be seeing the other family members as well, and you start to sort of go on a journey with them, which I think is quite fulfilling and rewarding. We get to follow a person's journey and to check up on our progress and the decisions we made along with their involvement, of course. And this is also a learning opportunity for us as doctors as well. The third benefit is that we take a holistic approach when it comes to our patients. This is one of the hallmarks of general practice, that we look at the person as a whole and treat them accordingly rather than focusing on a disease, which is in contrast to other specialties in hospital. For example, someone presenting with symptoms of early diabetes in their 40s and they work as a bus driver might be slightly different from someone presenting with the same symptoms but in their 60s and close to retirement. And we would have to take the person's background into account before we make any decisions about their treatment and no two patients are the same. Everyone is different. So that gives us this variety again, which I was talking about earlier, and it keeps you on your toes. And it keeps you on your toes, which I think is great, and keeps you mentally stimulated all the time. Another benefit of general practice is the flexibility it brings. As a doctor in general practice, you have huge flexibility, and you could choose to do so many different things. For example, you could become either a locum doctor if you want to try and experience and see how different surgeries work, or you could become a salaried doctor if you want a bit for security. And if you're more interested in the business side, then you could become a partner. And of course, every role has its own benefits. As a locum, you have more control over your day-to-day life, and this could help people in choosing work-life balance. As a salaried, it gives you more security about your work and benefits of NHS pension. And as a partner, you have control over how the services are run, and you are also responsible for hiring and firing of the staff, which can be quite an attractive part of the job for some people and not so attractive for others. And in addition to that, you could choose to have a portfolio career in which you could do general practice for 2-3 days, and then you could also do other things on the side. For example, some people may have other businesses, some people go into teaching, some people go and teach in uni, for example. So it's very variable and it's really flexible, and you can do anything really. I'm a locum GP, and I have been a locum GP for quite a few years. However, my role is about to change, and I will share those details with you once they're confirmed. And in addition to that, I make videos like this, which is quite fulfilling and rewarding. So another benefit of general practice is that you could develop a special interest. And like I said before, it's quite flexible, and sky's the limit really when it comes to developing special interest. And it depends on your background. So for example, I have a friend who come from a different specialty, which was ENT, and once qualified, he looked into developing a service for the local CCG. And once he qualified, then he spoke to the local CCG, and they helped him in setting up a special ENT service. And other areas of special interest in GP are like dermatology, cardiology, neurology. Like I said, it could be anything, depending on your skill level and the geographical area, of course, where you practice. Another benefit of general practice is that relatively short training in comparison to other specialties. For example, it takes 5 years to qualify as a GP if you come straight from medical school, which includes 2 years of foundation training and 3 years of GP training. However, if you want to become a cardiologist or a surgeon, that may take 8 to 10 years after the medical school, which I think is quite a long time. And especially if you have a family and want to settle down, then it's easier if you're a GP. In addition to that, out of hour work is optional. You don't have to do it, but you can choose to do it if you wish, which means that you will not need to work late evenings or weekends. However, I would like to clarify here, the GP is not a 9-to-5 job. Yes, you heard that correct. GP is not a 9-to-5 job. Most of my colleagues and I myself, we normally start at around 8 to 8:30, and we don't finish till about 6 or 6:30. So that's a usual day is quite long in general practice. But the good thing about it is the work is quite fun, it's enjoyable, and if you love what you do, then it's all good. So if we were to look beyond 5 years or 10 years, what would a general practice look like in 5 or 10 years? I think we've seen a lot of changes recently. Of course, there's a shortage of doctors, GPs in particular here in the UK, and deaneries are trying to recruit more people. And as we know, with the advancement of medicine and research, we are living longer, but it also means that we are living with 1, 2 or more health conditions, which makes healthcare much more complex. So what that means is that the GPs will be in high demand in another 5 or 10 years because of this issue which we have. In addition to that, I think general practice is changing. Now we have people with additional roles. So for example, we have a physiotherapist in our practice who can see patients, and we also have mental health practitioner who can also see patients, and we also have now pharmacists who see patients. In our practice where I work, we have a pharmacist, we have an ANP, which is an advanced nurse practitioner. So all of those people can see patients as well. This is obviously to help us with the workload which we have at the moment in general practice, and I think over next 5 or 10 years the GP's role might change slightly from seeing more complex patients to perhaps more of a managerial or overlooking role, and supporting all these other professionals, which we still do of course, but it may move towards that. However, I think it'll be different in different places and different geographical locations. So that was all about this video today. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to more similar videos like this, or any other particular topics you might be interested in. I do have a few other videos which are about lifestyle medicine, and you can find them linked in here. Thank you very much for watching. May peace be upon you.